Thank you, Chief Secretary, Dr. Martin Rushwaya. Members of the Fourth Estate, Cabinet received the report on the food deficit mitigation strategy, the urban cash transfer program, and the movement of grain as presented by the Minister of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare, Honorable July Moyo. The second phase of the Blitz grain distribution has now gained momentum as food insecure beneficiaries continue to receive their 3 months grain supply. To date, a total of 31,000 metric tons of grain has been distributed and schools have commenced collection of food for emergency school feeding program. A total of 139,854 metric tons of grain is expected to be distributed during the months August to October 2024. Regarding the urban cash for cereal program, the beneficiary registration is underway across all the urban domains, as well as data cleaning and validation. Net1 has been contracted to pay urban beneficiaries under the program, and payments are expected to commence by the end of this week. Cabinet considered and approved the Health Workforce Strategy 2023 to 2030 and the Health Workforce Investment Program, which commences in 2024 to 2026, which was presented by the Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, Honorable Professor Amon Muruira, who is also the chairperson of the Cabinet Committee on Human Capital Development, Skills Application and Employment Creation. The Health Workforce Strategy 2023 to 2030 aims at ensuring a sustainable and resilient health workforce capable of supporting Zimbabwe's goal of becoming an upper middle income economy by the year 2030. The 5 strategic themes for the Health Workforce Strategy are as follows: education, training and development, deployment, utilization and governance, retention and migration management, monitoring and evaluation, ICT and research, and planning and financing. The education, training and development pillar seeks to align all health worker training programs with health sector needs, increase annual training outputs from 3,334 in 2022 to at least 7,000 by the year 2030, to professionalize and integrate community health workers into the main workforce, and to refurbish and expand training schools infrastructure, to remunerate in terms of the government modalities under the Health Workforce Retention and Migration Management pillar, and the aim is to reduce the attrition rate by the year 2030. The Health Workforce Monitoring, Evaluation, ICT and Research pillar aims to strengthen the health workforce management information system, to digitalize the health workforce management systems, and to strengthen health workforce research to inform the decision-making processes. The Health Workforce Planning and Financing pillar seeks to increase per capita investment in health from the current USD $9 to at least US $32, with a long-term goal of US $55 per capita. Key strategic interventions include increasing domestic resources mobilization and aligning investments in health workforce by government, the private sector, and the development partners. Cabinet considered and approved the report on the public service job evaluation exercise as presented by the Minister of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare, Honorable July Moyo. In February 2023, the Public Service Commission conducted a job evaluation exercise across 21 government line ministries, and the purpose of the exercise was to establish the composition and value of jobs and functions across the ministries. The key findings of the evaluation exercise were advancement via grade system, the implementation of the principles of job evaluation, and that a job must maintain its grade throughout its lifetime unless the job duties have changed to warrant regrading. Functional duplications and overlaps in roles within and across line ministries, the duties and jobs of chief directors and directors being identical, which situation must render one of the jobs redundant, more managerial jobs than non-managerial jobs, the prevalence of dead-end jobs for specialists. The findings of the job evaluation will result in the review of manning levels across all line ministries at national and subnational levels, the rationalization of staff, upskilling and reskilling of members, the adoption of a new compensation framework, salary structure to conform with the principle of equal pay for equal work. Consultations are now underway for optimization and rationalization of the findings, with a view to aligning structures to Vision 2030. Cabinet received and approved the report on ICT for disaster risk management as presented by the Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, Professor Amon Muruira, who is also the chairman of the Cabinet Committee on Innovation, Development and Application. Zimbabwe, like many other countries, face various types of natural and climate-induced hazards such as floods, droughts, cyclones, earthquakes, and disease outbreaks. Information technology is advancing rapidly, making it possible to map space, identify and analyze data before, during, and after a disaster in detail and also in real time. The government of Zimbabwe mooted the ICT for Disaster Risk Management Initiative in response to the negative effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, the cyclone Idai, El Nino-induced drought in the 2023-2024 farming season, and other past disasters and disease outbreaks. The initiative is also in line with regional and international conventions, which Zimbabwe is party to, and requires the country to steer ICT sector initiatives in disaster risk management. Cabinet underscores that the ICT for Disaster Risk Management Initiative supports, adopts and integrates its information and communication technologies for disaster risk management in order to enhance disaster mitigation, preparedness and recovery through rapid communication and information sharing, early warning systems, remote sensing and GIS mapping, data collection and analysis, public awareness and education, and coordination and collaboration before, during, and after the disaster. Cabinet received reports on progress made in the implementation of priority projects for the second 100-day cycle of 2024, as presented by the Ministers of Energy and Power Development and the Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development. The Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation and Technology Development highlighted the following achievements in terms of projects under his purview. The construction of the Midland State University Kwekwe Law School is at 79% in terms of completion. The construction of the Bindura University of Science and Education and the National Biotechnology Mzarabani Masao Value Addition Plant is at 68%. The construction of the Lupane State University, the Binga Wildlife Ecotourism Innovation and Industrial Park is at 88% in terms of completion. The construction of the Great Zimbabwe University Chivi Center for Dryland Agriculture is at 56%. The Manicaland State University of Applied Sciences Wildlife Fencing Project for Agro Innovation and Industrial Park is at 60% in terms of completion. And 100 people were trained under the Integrated Skills Expansion Outreach Program. The Minister of Energy and Power Development, Honorable Edgar Moyo, highlighted the following achievements in terms of projects under his purview. The Chitulipasi Community Solar Project in Beitbridge District, Matabeleland South Province, is at 95% in terms of completion. The Muchavi Grid Project in Kai District, Matabeleland North Province is at 99% in terms of completion. The Matsetsa Project in Bohera District, Manicaland Province is at 99% in terms of completion. The Dete Community Solar Project in Hurungwe District, Mashonaland West Province is at 90% in terms of completion. And the Great Zimbabwe Hydropower Station is at 90% in terms of completion. Cabinet received an update on the preparations of the 29th Conference of Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change to be held in Azerbaijan from the 11th to the 22nd of November 2024 at the Expo City, and the report on the carbon credits symposium that was held on the 19th of August 2024. The reports were presented by the Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, Honorable Dr. S.G. Nyoni. As part of the roadmap to COP29, the Ministry of Environment, Climate and Wildlife will constitute an interministerial and cross-sectorial delegation based on the diversity of topics to be negotiated and, in some cases, experience in the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, and will organize a national pre-COP29 conference. The ministry attended the 10th special session of the African Ministerial Conference on Environment and the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification COP16 regional consultation that was held in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire from the 30th of August to the 6th of September 2024. COP29 is dubbed a finance COP and is expected to explore a fair and ambitious new collective quantified goal on climate finance adequate to the agency and the scale of the climate problem, taking into account the needs and priorities of developing countries. The President will address the COP29 plenary session. Cabinet received a report on His Excellency the President Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa's state visit to China and the attendance of the Forum on Africa-China Cooperation Summit held in Beijing, China, which was presented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Honorable Dr. Frederick Shava. His Excellency the President Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa undertook a successful state visit to China at the invitation of his Chinese counterpart, President Xi Jinping, from the 28th of August to the 3rd of September 2024. The state visit was followed by the summit, which was held from the 4th to the 6th of September 2024 in Beijing, China. The President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, also had the opportunity to visit his former college, the Nanjing Army Command College, and held a meeting with the Secretary of the Jiangsu Communist Party of China, His Excellency Xin Changxing. He concluded the state visit in Beijing by holding bilateral meetings with his counterpart, His Excellency President Xi Jinping, the Chinese Premier, His Excellency Lin Guang, and he had further engagements with Chinese investors. The Chinese leadership undertook to broaden and deepen collaboration with Zimbabwe across multiple sectors, including investment, trade, infrastructure development, mineral resources extraction, renewable energy, and the digital economy. The two leaders witnessed the signing of 17 legal instruments of cooperation, which included 14 MOUs and 3 letters of exchange. The nation is advised that on the 5th of September 2024, His Excellency the President Dr. Idi Mnangagwa attended the opening ceremony of the FOCAC summit and delivered a speech that focused on how China and Africa could nurture and strengthen relations. The President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, also attended the high-level meetings on state government and made a presentation in which he outlined his vision of an independent development path for Africa and the global South without undue foreign influence, and called for the removal of sanctions on Zimbabwe. On the 6th of September 2024, the President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, attended the 8th Conference of Chinese and African Entrepreneurs, in which he delivered a speech marketing Zimbabwe as a country with vast business opportunities. Key outcomes of the FOCAC summit included the adoption of a declaration that focused on jointly building a high-level China-Africa community with a shared future, fostering synergy between high-quality Belt and Road cooperation, and the goals of the African Union Agenda 2063 and the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, building a strategic framework for joint action for deepening dialogue amongst cultures and civilizations. The heads of states also adopted the Beijing Action Plan 2025 to 2027, which focuses on 10 partnership actions. The Honorable Vice President, retired Colonel KCD Mohadi, presented a report on the visit he undertook to Malawi on the occasion of the centenary celebrations of the Church of Central Africa General Assembly held on the 25th of August 2024. Prior to the attendance of the Church of Central Africa Presbyterian General Assembly centenary celebration, the Vice President had an opportunity to tour one of the largest crocodile farms in Malawi, the Crocodile Farm in Salima district. Of special note was the adoption of technology in crocodile farming techniques and the production processes at the farm, which has more than 15,000 reptiles. The Vice President highlighted that Malawi and Zimbabwe have an opportunity to collaborate and share expertise and markets for the crocodile skin value chain. Meanwhile, the centenary celebration drew Church of Central Africa congregants from Malawi, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, and the Presbyterian leaders from South Africa, Canada, Netherlands, Ireland, and Scotland, among others. The celebration also had prayers for Malawi, Zambia, Mozambique, South Africa, Tanzania, and Zimbabwe. The Vice President paid a courtesy call to the President of the Republic of Malawi, His Excellency Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, words on the continued collaboration between the two countries took center stage, with emphasis being on the implementation of MOUs that have been concluded by the two respective countries. The Honorable Vice President, retired General Dr. CGDN Chiwenga, presented a report on the 19th edition of the Confederation of India Industry India-Africa Business Conclave, which the Vice President attended from the 20th to the 22nd of August 2024 in New Delhi, India. The purpose of the visit was to market business opportunities in Zimbabwe and investment opportunities, to follow up on the pending MOUs as well as to strengthen India-Zimbabwe relations. During the inaugural session, the Honorable Vice President stressed the need for increased cooperation given the country's present chairmanship of SADC, its centrality in the region, and also the Africa Continental Free Trade Area membership. He also flagged opportunities for investment in Zimbabwe's various economic sectors during the country's focus session, and investors expressed interest to collaborate with Zimbabwe in areas of space industry, telemedicine, artificial intelligence, and digital health. The Vice President underscored Zimbabwe's commitment to continue conversations with the prospective investors, the need for follow-ups and implementation of agreed MOUs. The Vice President held meetings with various prospective investors focusing on the following areas: solar and hydro energy investment, mining, Wanke project, the industrial park for cotton value addition, and development of the beef sector through the Cold Storage Commission and the water supply schemes, among other areas. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
Chokwadi pasi pano taiona